And he says, I sympathize with that. So Dick is a little bit sad, and Perry says, I sympathize with that. What's interesting about that word choice? It's a motif. We've seen it come up before. Would you expect to hear a cold-blooded killer say, I sympathize with that? Probably not. And, you know, Capote, when he was writing this, he did base it off of detailed interviews that he's given, that he's had with the killers. But with the genre, he does get to take some creative liberties in communicating what he finds out. He didn't watch a video of this, of actual event playing out and then write a story about it. So he chooses to give Perry the line, I sympathize with that, in this case. And it seems a little odd. It seems a little out of place. So what's the significance of that? What do you think Capote's game is here? What's he trying to do? Say that again? He's trying to show Perry's good side. Anything else? What might his purpose be for showing Perry's good side?
He thought about lynching.
What is it?
Talked about lynching and Dick.
Alright, so he's really humanized Perry. He's really trying to humanize him, even though he's a killer. Means you're giving him details that make you look at him, will make the reader look at him as more of a human being, an average person, rather than just a monster that killed these people in their homes. So I want you to think about that a little bit, and we'll return to it. And then in the end here, Perry starts to wonder, Dick doesn't seem so excited about the plans of going to Mexico and treasure hunting as Perry has been. And he starts to wonder, has Dick been playing him this whole time? Has he been just manipulating him into committing these murders? So, why do you think they're staying together?
Because if they get caught, they want to be caught together.
Right. If they get caught, they want to be caught together. Why is that?
And back each other's stories up.
So if they try to pull that he said,
Yeah.
when they're interrogating them, they won't be able to get them to turn on each other.
Even if they're together, they're not going to interrogate them together.
That could be true. That's true. Interesting point. Either way, they don't completely trust each other enough to separate at this point. So we're seeing that they're not exactly fond of each other, but they are sticking around. They're still hanging out. And then I'm going to have a little bit of an activity, of a chart for you guys to do. But before I do that, I want you to think about some differences between Dick and Perry. And we're going to talk about some similarities and differences. Oh, sure.
I just moved in general.
Just need to take the seat. So we're talking about Dick and Perry. What similarities have you seen between the two so far? We're going to compare them.
They both like to kill.
They both like to kill?
They don't kill.
They both kill. All right.
I don't know, they both seem like they like to kill.
Maybe this is a bad
Kind of.
thing.
I don't know.
Okay, so they both kill. They're at least both taking part in the committing of the murder. What differences have we seen? What do we know about Dick that's different from Perry? Dick is the planner.
Perry's kind of the planner too, and like going to Mexico.
All right, so we could say Dick plans the killings, whereas what does Perry plan?
Escape.
So we kind of see Perry is more concerned with what they're going to do after this. What is this killing going to get Perry? What's he going to gain from this in the long term? Whereas Dick is kind of just like, this is some fast cash, planning the murder, we're going to get away with it, and he's kind of concerned with the short-term benefits of how this is going to help him. What's another difference that we see between the two?
Dick is more rational and Perry isn't.
All right, Dick is rational. Would you say that Perry is not rational
No.
or irrational?
He's less rational.
All right.
He's emotional.
He's more emotional. He's, what other words would you use to describe him? Emotional. What is he concerned with? What are his values in life? What does he like about himself?
Kind of spiritual. Not like spiritual, but like,
A little bit. I would say he's a little bit spiritual in the superstitious sense.
Yeah, he can be very.
And what skills does he have that he values? What things about himself does he like?
oh, he's very.
Say that again? He can play instruments, and he's very proud of that. So we'll say musical ability.
He likes to look at himself a lot.
Yeah,
He's
like
very
body.
proud of his appearance.
Okay, he's proud of his appearance.
He's a big asshole.
So we'll say conceited. Conceited, he's really into himself. It's supposed to be a C. And so he's overall more artistic. He's a little bit more into his intellectual side. So we'll say artsy. Anything else?
Kind of says he was abused when he was younger.
Okay, abused when he was younger. And what do we know about Dick's family? Okay, they might have some dysfunction in there, but overall, they seem more cohesive, more together. Harry's we learned that he has a history of suicide in his family. He has siblings that have committed suicide. Broken family. So whereas Perry has had some disconnects with his family, Dick, even though his family might not be perfect, he's still very involved with his family. And, you know, his family does have concerns about him, and he has concerns for his family too. So, what else,
I was
Mason?
gonna say like how they said, I think it said that they sat down for dinner all together and his mom like kissed him or something on the cheek or something.
All right, so yeah, he does. He has some positive family ties. And Dick, we really don't see any of that. We will learn more about his family. Shannon?
I know one time that like they sat at a table and they were about to order before they were going to kill. And like one of the like, you know, Dick was like, let's have a huge meal.
Yeah, that happened before and after. We saw that what Dick always, he just loves to eat. He's just eating. It's after the murder, he eats even more. It's three.
Then he wants Perry's hamburger.
Yeah, 3 steaks in a row can't satisfy him, and then he'll eat Harry's burger. He seems like he's not taking this murder too heavily. He's not worried about it. He's just, you know, living his life. It's a little bit indulgent.
His eating could be nasty.
All right, so we've got a good list going. Are there maybe any other similarities that we can see? Surface similarities. We talked about how the similarities are more physical. What were the surface similarities we talked about?
They were both in accidents.
They were both in accidents, so they've both been made.
Both have tattoos.
Both have some tattoos.
Ex-con. They're still compound.
Both were in prison. That's really a big one. But other than these surface similarities, they are personality-wise very different. So we're going to, as we've been learning about Dick and Perry, we learn about them through the author's methods of characterization. And the author characterizes them by giving us bits and pieces of information about them. And there are two kinds of characterization. Has anyone heard of the two kinds before, or had any familiar, like,
Probably if you said them.
okay. The first kind is direct characterization. Indirect. That's right. Indirect. And does anyone know the difference between the two? Per chance?
Direct means you just come out and say stuff, and indirect means you kind of are more sneaky about it and hide it.
Okay. Alright, that's actually fairly accurate. That's, yeah, direct is when the author is telling you something, what he's telling you is straight, that's what you need to know. If Perry has tattoos, he's saying Perry has tattoos, that's going to be direct characterization. Indirect is more when you're getting information that's implied about the characters. So, for example, when we learn about the Clutter family, when we're learning about the Clutter family and they're describing their family ties and how they hang out together all the time, we're getting characterization on each of them, but they're not saying, oh, the Clutter family is a great family and they love each other so much. He's telling us about the Clutter family, and then we're getting that characterization through the information that we know. Does that make sense, or is that a little bit confusing? Raise your hand if that makes sense. All right, I'm going to give you a chart. And what you're going to do for this is, yeah, it's correct, is just give me